And slate. Welcome, race fans, to today's Rowdy.com Big Three. Sitting alongside the superior Jeff Gluck.
Superior to whom or what?
To us.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Of SB Nation. My name is Bass Masters. To the far right, Buzz Cutler, also of Rowdy.com. And today is our traditional Wednesday quote edition Big Three. I know you're a big fan.
I watch it every week.
Every week.
First quote comes from Dale Earnhardt Jr. because, of course, we love to pander to the junior nation here at Rowdy.com.
Steve's done amazing. I mean, every week we've gotten better during the race. I can't ask for any more than that, and I hope he keeps it up.
Well, there you go, Jeff. You willing to say that Dale Jr.'s got the magic chemistry this season?
I mean, it's a good start. You know what I mean? And last year, just at this Bristol race last year, he had a total meltdown with Lance McGrew, and that was the "Don't you lay down on me." I don't know if you remember that.
I do remember that.
Yeah,
right.
So I mean, obviously a year later, looking pretty good compared to that. I think one thing is, Junior gets down on himself during the race, like we've talked about before, and Steve Letart's kind of a cheerleader, can pick him back up, and by the way, he also fixes the car and makes it faster.
Yeah.
Bonus.
Yeah.
It's a good combination, that having a little more confidence, a little more upbeat, and then actually saying, well, I don't have to lay down or give up or get discouraged because he can make my car better. Even if I make a mistake, we can come back from that.
Right.
I have to say, not only is this better for Junior, but it's also better for Letarte, because last season, of course, Jeff Gordon was the one who was cheerleading for Letarte and coming to his defense, and now Letarte is put in the position of getting to cheerlead for Junior and coming to his defense. So I think this is actually a win-win for both those guys.
All right, quote number two.
Quote number two comes from your Bristol winner, Mr. Bristol himself, Kyle Busch. He's incredulous, doesn't understand why Carl Edwards would feel like he owes him one.
No, normally when it's against you, you'll always remember forever. So I don't remember what I did that made him mad.
Well, first of all, doesn't Carl Edwards feel he owes everyone?
Well, I mean, the thing about this is it's funny because you would think Kyle would know when he's pissed somebody off, and he honestly, he was asked a couple times and said the same thing we just heard. He doesn't know where this is coming from.
But isn't it obviously Phoenix?
No, I don't think it is. No, he's talking about from something before.
Because
before
Carl at one point bumped Kyle out of the way for a win at Bristol.
Right.
Yeah.
And said, I thought to myself, would he do this to me? And then I said to myself, well, I know he would because he has. He does. He
there was
absolutely
a
does.
driver, I'll keep him unnamed, that told me once that
Oh, come
on the
on,
inside of
name
his
him.
Spill, Gluck.
I can't. On the inside of his fire suit, he keeps a list of names of people who he owes, and after he gives them a nudge or gets them out of the way, he crosses it off. So, I mean, I think the guys, if you feel like you've been wronged, you remember,
definitely remember.
and Carl
There's no
obviously
doubt.
does.
The memory of an elephant.
Next quote.
Next quote, obviously one of the best stories of the 2011 season, and maybe one of the biggest surprises, if not the biggest surprise of 2011, has to be the man we used to call Mr. Soul Patch, Paul Menard. Let's listen to what the leader of the Menard Empire has to say.
Slugger and I are great friends. We talk almost every day. If I don't call him, he calls me, vice versa, pretty much once a day.
Well, you were the one, I believe, last weekend at Bristol that pointed out to Menard that he did have an empire, actually, on Facebook.
You guys should look that up. The Paul Menard Empire. I mean,
just-
he has an empire.
Do we have to refer to him as Emperor Menard now?
I don't know. We'll talk to him this week because he was unaware that he had his own empire.
And now he's got to figure out what to do with it.
Yes, right, exactly.
The thing that's interesting to me about this quote is that relationship with Slugger Labby. It just seems to come up over and over again. So what's the relationship there with Slugger Labby, do you think?
I think Mark Martin said this once, and it's always stuck with me. There's all the guys in Cup, basically for the most part, can drive. I mean, they're all capable of winning. Anybody down to the back markers, really. But building a team.
That's a whole different kettle of fish.
Yes, exactly. And that has to do with communication. And they have this chemistry that's built already, and they were able to bring that over from where they were before and put it at Richard Childress Racing. And I think that that says, that goes a long way, as we've seen. It has to go a long way.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, he has better cars than at Richard Petty Motorsports, better engines, I'm sure. but it's not
He's
all
outrunning
that.
a lot of guys.
Oh, yeah, including his own teammates.
Including his own teammates. And the other thing is that strikes me as interesting, we talked a lot about A.J. Allmendinger and that team at Richard Petty Motorsports and going through the uncertainty of last year and sticking together and being strong. And I wonder, obviously Menard kind of was able to set up his own situation for this year and had a little more comfort. But I wonder if going through some of the bouncing around and moving around and the uncertainty last year with RPM, if that didn't make those guys a stronger tandem also.
NASCAR is a team sport, and I think the driver-crew chief relationship is a perfect manifestation of that.
Yeah, I don't have anybody's I talk to every day, so for them to talk every day, like they said in the
I know.
quote,
I mean,
I don't even talk to my wife on a daily basis.
Well, I talk to her.
Oh, all right.
She doesn't like you.
Give me your
She
number.
doesn't like you.
Give me your number. when you
No,
have a
she told
chance.
me never to give it to you. All right, that has been your Rowdy.com Big Three for today with our very special guest, Jeff Gluck from SB Nation. My name is Bass Masters. That's Buzz Cutler. We'll see you next time.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.